I suppose as a director, you putting on display what your tastes are, what gives you joy, what gives you what excites you.
Do you really want to see my boobs?
Can I touch them?
I'll see you tomorrow.
The first thing is obviously about Alana Haim, which I was amazingly pleased to see on screen. And I wanted to know more about the story with the Haim family, because you have also Daniel and Estee in the film. And I wanted to know from the first music video to having Alana on the poster of Licorice Pizza.
Oh my God, that story's so long. Fuck, I don't even know where to begin. And one of the great collaborations of my life, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I find them totally inspiring. We've had a great run together. I have no idea how this happened. I mean, yeah, the facts are out there somewhere. You know, their mom was my teacher and I heard their music and all that, but yeah, I don't know. That still doesn't somehow, it's just, I don't know what it is. It's like an attraction to something that speaks to you. They have always excited me as performers, as women. And the thing that's happened now with Alana, it's like, it's so cool to watch. It's wild.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
Do you know who my girlfriend is?
Barbara Streisand?
Barbara Streisand.
Sand.
Yeah, like sands, like the ocean, like beaches.
Barbara Streisand?
No, like Streisand.
I mean, I kind of knew, I think I knew deep in my heart, like, this is really a spectacular performance. So no, I'm not surprised, you know, that people are responding to it. But of course, there was a part of me that was so nervous that I was seeing something and that not everybody else would see. Do you see? So I got quite nervous that a few people might notice and say, "Oh yeah, she's good," you know. And I think that would have broken my heart, or I would have, you know, I've had that happen before. You know, some things you put everything into, and somebody is maybe lukewarm about it. But but when people are responding as I felt, with the same enthusiasm and same astonishment and joy, it's just fun to see somebody do something good, isn't it?
Yeah. I gotta tell you something. When I got invited to the first interview with you in Paris, Jean-Pierre, from the press relations, and he told me, you gotta discover the lead from this movie, you won't believe it. And I was like, okay, he's got a Paul Thomas Anderson movie, and the first thing he tells me is, you gotta discover Alana Haim in this movie because you won't believe your eyes.
You know what's nice? What's nice is that because she has a job with her sisters, you know, that you can feel very secure that she doesn't have to chase around being an actress or doing work that, you know, that's exciting. You know, sometimes it's so hard to have the job of an actress. You know, at a certain point, you are really required to do work that perhaps you don't want to do.
It's a need,
You know,
totally.
There's a shortage of material, right? You can have all the talent unless you're writing your own material. It seems like something that actresses only get the ability to do later on in their life after they've had some success. You know, you see Reese Witherspoon now, or
right.
You know, that finally they fucking are able to really guide their own careers. You know, and when they do, they seem happier. But it'd just be nice to see what's next for Alana. You know?
Yeah, totally. In the movie, there are these two new faces, Cooper Hoffman, Alana Haim, and you've got three very strong characters, Sean Penn, Bradley Cooper, Ben Safdie, in the right order. I wanted to know if there was something with the fact that the three of them are also directors, having them in such strong characters with very short moments, but hilarious for most of them, the first two. Did it have something with the fact they are directors and mixing these guys with a lot of experience with Alana and Cooper, who are straight newcomers?
There's an awareness from all of them. They know how to make a film. I wonder, did you see the Beatles documentary?
I only saw the first episode. Yeah.
Did you see it when Billy Preston, the keyboard player, comes on?
Yeah.
You see, whenever you've seen musicians and they're going along and they're pretty good, and then somebody comes into the room and everything gets elevated and lifted up. That's the best way to describe we were doing good things. And then when Sean Penn comes on, you just feel everybody who's really good already at their job, they just become a little bit better, you know? They become sharper, you know, and everyone is, and the same thing with Bradley, like, ba-boom, you know, everything lifts. Benny had less people knew who he was or knew that he was a director. I thought it was hilarious when I looked over and he was talking to our boom operator about his boom, because Benny's also a boom operator. You know, he's not just the director and an actor, but he does the sound. He has no way to compete with them except his genuineness, you know, he's this sort of genuine. It was very funny to shoot those scenes, you know. Cooper and Alana had many weeks together where there was just the two of them. And then we would have these episodes where some outsider would come in, you know, and challenge their relationship or pull them away. For two young actors, I don't think they counted on just how emotional that would make them feel, you know, in real life. It always gets peculiar and kind of like a soap opera for a second on a movie set. And you think, oh, it's perfectly natural, you know. They're playing make-believe, but some of it seeps in. And
in this film, there are two sides of like what America was at that time. There is something about modernity, like water mattresses and innovation, entrepreneurship, new music, freedom. Like there's something very free and wild and sunny. And on the other side, you've got this generation gap, which is tradition, conservatism. You can see that there's going to be some splits. You've got Vietnam, you've got religion, traditions also. It feels like people believed, people wanted to do, people first thought, I'll try before saying I'll fail. I felt it very strongly in a lot of moments when you got this collision of modernity and nostalgia. And it seems to be like their climax, like it's never been this golden in California as in the early 70s. I don't know if I'm clear, but
well, no, you are being clear, and my mind wandered away because you made me think of something. You made me think of like, is it a function of the 70s or is it a function of the main characters and their youthfulness? You know,
interesting.
I mean, I think yes, it's both, right? Sure, it's both, but the majority of it goes to these characters. You know, I'm surrounded by teenagers right now. I have one, and her friends are always over, and they're like puppies. They have so much energy and so much optimism. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, they're not without their fair share of drama, you know, but and fear, but they haven't been beaten up by life yet, with the exception of what the past year was to their social lives, you know, and how struggling that was. But right now they've emerged and they're taking advantage of their time, so they are optimistic. That gets us into a whole conversation about telephones and shit like that. You know, a telephone is actually more of like a ticking bomb that we've put around these kids' ankles, you know, and like, like they don't even know they're drowning, but they are. But then again, it's pretty easy for an old man to say that, you know, they don't want to fucking hear it, you know. I don't know. But back to the 70s, I don't know. People keep going back to it. Filmmakers keep going back to it. Television shows keep going back to it. Yeah. You know, I've made two movies in the 1970s, and I'm still finding music that I've never even heard that's good.
Yeah, congrats on that.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's fucking crazy to me that there's still incredible songs that haven't been played in films before. You're like, I don't know what they were taking, but they were doing it really, really right now. And we obviously keep going back to it. Collectively, as a society, we always talk about the 70s. And I'm not talking about like fucking disco bullshit, you know, bottom, you know, like all that kind of stuff. Like, that's nice. And that's kind of flashy, but that's like Halloween costumes, right? I'm talking about sort of the more soulful, incredible material that was coming out of that time. Yeah. Bill Withers music, you know.